never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world and right on time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this. I'm far away from Earth and I wanna know if you exist. Mission control, do you read me? Send me my coordinates lately. Mission control, am I drifting? Tie me to someone who will love me, yeah. Wait, I think I'll last a bit longer. Fine, I'm not.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. It is a Wednesday, but it's also the final Wednesday in the month of February, since February only has 28 days. 1 week from today, we will be into the month of March. And since it is Wednesday, it's time for another weekly Top 10 Countdown. And this week's Top 10 Countdown, again, is another requested Top 10 Countdown. This one actually came through the wire last week on Monday, but I didn't do it last week because I felt like only in about a 36-hour notice that was not long enough. So I was going to wait an additional week and give myself time to do some research and really think about it. And this week's Top 10 Countdown is not sports related. It is top 10 movies that I would not watch even if my wife paid me to watch them. I just would not watch them. No way, no how. Ain't happening. And we all have movies or shows that we watch with our girlfriend, wife, boyfriend, or husband. You watch them together as a family. And then there's also some shows or movies that you just do not like, but you put up with them because your spouse likes them. But the entire week leading up to it, you're thinking to yourself, man, well, I dread so-and-so night. I gotta sit down and watch that stupid show that I don't like to make my wife happy, to make my husband happy. And you really don't want to. You just bite the bullet and you do it. And you just hope that the show gets canceled, or you just hope that your wife or husband doesn't like the movie, and when it goes off, they won't come to you and say, let's watch that again. They're done with it like you want to be. For me, it was always, the last couple years, Tyler Perry. And I say that because when I was in high school and shortly after, when Tyler Perry first made it big, I thought he was good. I thought he was entertaining. But over time, after about 10 or 11 years of hearing the same old jokes and seeing the same old costumes, it just got old. And about the past 5 years, I have just completely gotten where I just cannot stand anything Tyler Perry does. If I see Tyler Perry breathing, I want to punch my TV. So these are the top 10 movies that I will not watch, even if my wife pays me to watch them. There's actually 11 on the list because we have a tie at number 1, and I'll tell you why when we get there. But until we get there, 10 through 2 is all romantic movies, but that's because I don't like romantic movies. I'll watch a drama, I'll watch a comedy, I'll watch a scary movie, I'll watch a family movie. but I just do not like romantic movies. They're all mushy gushy, especially if your wife asks you to watch one with her, because every romantic movie that women like, they all end the same way. The guy and the girl fall in love, they get married, happily ever after, they have kids, and it goes off. Every one of them ends the same way. So I just do not like romantic movies. I'm not going to go into details about every one of these because more than likely, most of you have seen at least 2 or 3 on this list. If you haven't, go read about them, and they're probably going to sound bad enough to where you're not going to want to watch them. Number 10 came out in 1996. It starred Ellen DeGeneres, Bill Pullman, Joan Cusack, and Dean Stockwell, and it was called Mr. Wrong. And to every guy that's married out there, that would be you, because when you get married, us guys are always wrong. So that movie could be about every married guy that's ever lived. Number 9, The Big Wedding. It came out a decade ago, 2013. Robert De Niro, Diane Keaton, Susan Sarandon, and Katherine Heigl. Number 8 came out in 2014. It starred Pierce Brosnan, Salma Hayek, Jessica Alba, and Malcolm McDowell, and it was called Some Kind of Beautiful. Now, a movie with the title like Some Kind of Beautiful should have been about me, but it's not about me. Number 7, A Smile Like Yours, starring Greg Kinnear, Lauren Holly, Joan Cusack, and Jay Thomas, and that came out all the way back in 1997. Number 6, Man Trouble, starring Jack Nicholson, Ellen Barkin, Harry Dean Stanton, and Beverly D'Angelo, and it came out in 1992. Before we talk about the top 5, 10 through 6 one more time is Mr. Wrong, The Big Wedding, Some Kind of Beautiful, A Smile Like Yours, and Man Trouble. And these are the top 10 movies that I would never watch, even if my wife begged me to and paid me to. And even if she did talk me into it and pay me to watch them, I would probably sit down and fall asleep within 10 minutes. I'm one of those people that I may never feel like I'm sleepy, and I may never think I'm sleepy. But if I sit down to watch a movie and that movie doesn't get my attention within 10 minutes, I'm asleep. Number 5 is one that I would never watch because it stars the second most untalented person that's ever been in Hollywood. From 2008, The Hottie and the Naughty, starred Paris Hilton, who should not ever do anything except stay in her bedroom, Joel David Moore, Christine Lakin, and Joanne Erb. And Paris Hilton is the second most untalented person ever in Hollywood. Number 1 is Adam Sandler, and number 3 is the aforementioned Tyler Perry. I've just never been a fan of Adam Sandler. To me, he's as boring as watching grass grow. Number 4, Hilary Duff, Heather Locklear, Chris Noth, and Mike O'Malley in 2005 starred in a movie called The Perfect Man. And I didn't tell you, the lead character in that movie was Brandon Todd. Number 3, Ben Affleck, Jennifer Lopez, Justin Bartha, and Lainie Kazan in 2003 starred in a movie called Giggly. Number 2, Till There Was You, and that starred Jean Triplehorn, Dylan McDermott, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Jennifer Aniston, and that came out back in 1997. 5 through 2, one more time, was The Hottie and the Naughty, The Perfect Man, Giggly, and Till There Was You. And as I said at the beginning of the video, number 1 is a tie for number 1, and they're both up there for the same exact reason. 1 starred Mel Gibson, Patrick McGoohan, and Catherine McCormick, and the other one had a cast of characters, and I'm not even going to begin to tell you who they are because it would take forever. But the reason why I wouldn't watch them is the same reason for both movies. They're too long. One is about 2 hours and 50 minutes, and one's about 3 hours and 10 minutes. There is no way I could ever sit down to watch those movies. When I watch a movie, it needs to be about an hour and a half. If it's longer than an hour and 40 minutes, I'm not watching it. And that's not an exaggeration. There used to be a video store right above the house I grew up in. And me and my papa used to go up there on Saturdays when my grandmother and my mother and my sister would go shopping. And me and my papa would go up there and rent 3 or 4 wrestling, at the time, VHS tapes. And we would sit at home and watch VHS tapes from about 9 o'clock on Saturday morning till about 9 o'clock on Saturday night. And most of them were wrestling. But every once in a while, I would go up there and I would rent an actual movie. And if it looked good on the case, I'd pick it up and look at it. And the first thing I would do was go to the very, very bottom of the back side of the VHS tape where it said approximate running time. And if it was anything more than 100 minutes, I put it back. Because a movie does not have to last that long. But those 2 movies, in case you're wondering, are Braveheart and The Green Mile. And it's nothing against those movies. It's just I cannot sit still that long. After 25, 30 minutes, I'm ready to get up. And it's worse if the movie doesn't get good right away, because my attention span is about as long as my pinky fingernail. So when a movie comes on, if it doesn't catch my attention in the first 10 minutes of it, I'm done. But the top 2 that are tied for number 1 is Braveheart and The Green Mile. And I'm sure everybody else has seen those movies, and your reaction is, you wouldn't watch those? And no, I wouldn't. It's nothing against any of the actors in the movies. It's just I can't sit still for that long and watch a movie. And I sure can't watch half of it and then watch the other half later, because later would be probably 5 or 6 months down the road. And when I tried to sit down and watch the rest of it, after 5 or 6 months, I'd be thinking, what happened? I done forgot. What are they doing? Because it's been too long. But I just can't sit still for a 3-hour movie. I just can't do it. And that's why I've always liked preferably a comedy or a scary movie, because most of the time, comedies and scary movies are right around an hour and a half. And for me, that's perfect. Any thoughts on this? Please feel free to let me know. Homes for Our Troops is a publicly funded 501c nonprofit organization that builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans. Since the 2004 inception, nearly 90 cents of every dollar spent has gone directly to our program services for veterans. Visit at hfotusa.org. let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. How do moths swim? Using the butterfly stroke. And that wraps it up for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.